Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and guests. In the effervescent atmosphere of the new year, I foolishly made a resolution to be more practical around the house. And it didn't take me long to get started. We had a sooty, smoky fireplace. No problem, I thought. Any fool can sweep a chimney. All you do is get a set of brushes and telfers and connect up the rods and work away. And it did work. Buckets of soot came down, pulled the rods down, but there was no brush. I tried all sorts of things to get the brush down. I tried the drain rock, all sorts of things, hook. So I called on some friends, and I had 2 sheep farmers and a retired telecom engineer, and the 4 of us, over 4 hours, surveyed the problem and worked on it with various devices connected on the rods made from bended coat hangers. Mark 1 got stuck up there with the brush, but Mark 4, we cracked it, pulled it down, and then all I had was the mess to clear up. That was January. February came and I thought, well, after the chimney debacle, I shan't do anything. So I left it till March, and then I looked at the house and thought, it needs painting the outside. And I thought any fool can paint on the outside of the house. All you do is get the brush and the rollers and away you go. Until I was up the ladder, and I found that once I got up to about 10 foot up the ladder, I got queasy, yeah? So I came down and thought, put the ladder away, and looked and thought, that's great. I've now got a 2-tone house. The bottom half nicely painted. The top half with a 10-year fade. Idea, what can I do? Ah yes, those nice people from KWS provided me with a cherry picker. And when the cherry picker came, 45 foot height, it was fantastic. I was driving it up and down I went in the platform. I looked at the house from every possible angle and altitude almost. Yeah, and then I got down to the painting. Yeah, and then after a while I thought I'll have a break. Yeah. And I was about 18 foot up, and I thought I'd come down. Oh dear, the hydraulics had gone. And I was stuck up there, and there was a bit of a wind picking up, and the little gondola I was in was starting to sway. But never mind, all was not lost. I had my mobile phone. So I rang the helpful people at KWS and spoke to the engineer. No problem, Mike, he said. I'll be out first thing in the morning. Well, luckily he came that evening. And after a couple of hours, I was down on terra firma. And eventually got the rest of the house painted and thought, that's enough with the house, I'll start with the garden now. So I went out in the garden and I had a tree stump to get rid of. And I was working on this tree stump. And I felt a sting on my leg, and I thought, I looked down, I couldn't see anything, and I thought that felt like a bee sting. And then it was again, and I thought, well, I didn't imagine that. That was something like a bee sting, but I couldn't see where it was. And then I lifted my foot and saw in the long grass, I'd actually been standing on a wasp nest, yeah? And I actually had wasps in my trousers, yeah? Yeah. And when I moved the foot, of course, they could all come out then, you see, and they were pretty upset, yeah? So I ran to the house, it's commissar, and before I went in the house, yeah, I couldn't go in the house with my trousers on because there were wasps in there. So I had to take my trousers off. Now, unbeknown to me, my wife was entertaining a friend to tea, and they saw me at the patio door doing this dance and taking my trousers off. The friend thinks I'm not compass mentis. Okay, so that was That was the first thing in the garden, yeah? And then I came to the rabbits. I laid out the flower beds, and every rabbit in leash and a few from Offaly raided it, yeah? So I put a fence around, chicken mesh, yeah? And I put my beehive right in the middle of the flower bed, so it's ergonomically placed to minimise the distance my lads had to go to collect their nectar. And I came out a week later, and my beehive, which was an Irish beehive with Irish bees, had suddenly become an Italian one. It was the leaning hive of Pisa, yeah, at a nasty 15 degrees. And when I looked at what had happened, the rabbits had actually tunnelled under my fence, my chicken mesh fence, and the beehive had partially fallen into their tunnel. Yeah? I was contemplating this and the remains of my flower bed when the Irish monsoon season started. And to be honest, I'm still waiting for it to finish. The ground is so waterlogged that I can't do anything. But there are some of the highlights of my year, following on from an unfortunate New Year's resolution. Soon I should be making resolutions for 2003. And I think one of them maybe, as I got so many things from Telfords, like the brushes and the chicken wire, is to see if I can get a loyalty card from them. But my advice is to be careful of what you resolve to do. Thank you.